Now it's my pleasure to introduce the dancers from Leggz Dance Company. Joan McLaughlin in charge as choreographer. And watch all of this. I think we're all going to have a ball. Here is Peter and the Wolf.
This is the story of Peter and the Wolf. Each character in this story will be represented by a different instrument of the orchestra. For example, the bird is represented by the flute, like this. The duck is played by the oboe. Next is the cat. Which instrument do you think will represent the cat? Anybody? What's that? Violin? What? Clarinet. That's correct. No, that's incorrect. It's the clarinet. Yes, the cat you'll know is stealthing about when you hear the clarinet like this. Grandfather is represented by the bassoon. And try not to be frightened by the big gray wolf, who you'll recognize when you hear 3 deep, hideous, scary, nasty, smelly French horns like this. The hunters will be represented by the trumpet. While the blasts of the hunter's shotguns, those will be represented by the timpani and the big bass drum, like this. Well, I think that's everybody, right? Right? No? Who am I leaving out? Peter. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, that's the button. I think you're right. You're totally right. The hero of our story, Peter, he's actually going to be represented not just by the violin, but by all of the strings. And you'll know him when you hear this. Okay, that's everybody. So, if everybody's sitting comfortably, yeah, you're all ready? Good. Let's begin. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Peter who lived with his grandfather in a house next to a beautiful green meadow near a big, dark forest. Early one morning, Peter opened the gate and went out into the meadow. Of a big tree just outside the gate sat a little bird, Peter's friend. "All is quiet, all is quiet," chirped the bird merrily. Yes, all was quiet. Just then, a duck came waddling around the gate. He was glad that Peter had not closed the gate and decided to take a nice swim in the deep pond in the meadow. Seeing the duck, the little bird flew down upon the grass, settled next to the duck, and shrugged her shoulders. "What kind of a bird are you if you can't fly?" said she. To this the duck replied, "Quack." what kind of a bird are you, if you can't swim? And he dove into the pond. They argued and argued, the duck swimming in the pond and the little bird hopping along the shore. Suddenly, something caught Peter's attention. He noticed a cat creeping through the long grass. The cat thought, the bird is busy arguing. I'll just grab her. What a good breakfast she'll make. Stealthily and quietly, he crept toward the bird on his velvet paws. "Look out!" shouted Peter, and the bird immediately flew up into the tree. While the duck quacked angrily at the cat from the pond. Well, the middle of the pond. The cat crawled around and around the tree and thought, is it worth climbing up so high? By the time I get there, the bird will have flown away. As Peter watched the cat decide what to do, Grandfather came out of the house. He was angry at Peter for going into the meadow and leaving the gate wide open.
The meadow is a dangerous place, Peter. If a wolf were to come out of the forest, then what would you do?
Peter paid no attention to Grandfather's warning. Children like Peter are not afraid of wolves. Grandfather took Peter by the hand, led him home, and locked the gate behind them. No sooner had Peter gone inside than a big, an enormous, smelly, scary, gray wolf did come out of the forest. In a flash, the cat climbed up the tree. The duck quacked excitedly, but in his excitement, he jumped out of the pond. But no matter how fast the duck tried to run, he couldn't escape the wolf. The wolf was getting nearer, nearer, and nearer, catching up with him. And then he got him, and with a single whoop, he swallowed him. And now, this is how things stood. The cat was sitting on one branch of the big tree. The bird on another. Not too close to the cat. And the still hungry wolf walked around and around the tree, looking at them both with greedy eyes. In the meantime, Peter stood behind the closed gate without the slightest fear, watching everything that was going on. Suddenly, Peter had an idea. He ran home, found a big strong rope, and came back to climb the high stone wall. See, one of the branches of the tree, high above the circling wolf, stretched out over the wall. So Peter grabbed hold of that branch. And he climbed lightly onto the tree. Peter said to the bird, "Fly down and circle around the wolf's head, only make sure that he doesn't catch you." The bird very nearly brushed the wolf's head with her wings, while the wolf snapped at her angrily from this side and that. How the bird did annoy the wolf, how the wolf wanted to catch her. But the bird was too clever, and the wolf simply couldn't do anything about it. Meanwhile, Peter was making a lasso with the end of his rope, and he began carefully letting it down. And down. And down. Until he caught the wolf's tail in the lasso, and then he pulled with all of his might. Feeling himself caught in the rope, the wolf began to jump wildly, struggling to get loose. But Peter had tied the other end of the rope around the tree. And the wolf's jumping only made the rope around his tail tighter and tighter. Just then, a group of hunters came out of the woods. They were following the wolf's trail. And they were shooting as they went. But Peter, from up in the tree, said, "No, don't shoot. Birdie and I have already caught the wolf. Why don't you help us take him to the zoo?" And so now, just imagine the triumphant procession. Peter marching at the head. Following Peter came the hunters, leading the wolf. procession, Grandfather and the cat. Grandfather tossed his head grumpily.
Well, and if Peter hadn't caught the wolf, what then?
Above them all flew little birdie, chirping merrily.
My, what a brave pair we are, Peter and I. Look what we have caught, a whole wolf.
If you were to listen very carefully, you might hear the duck quacking inside the wolf's belly, because the wolf, in his hurry, had swallowed the duck alive. And that, boys and girls, is the story of Peter and the wolf.
Choreography by John McBurkin. Leggz Ltd. Fantastic job. What talent. What talent. And the Childrens Orchestra. Dynamite. Dynamite. Seth Sheldon. Carrying it. He's not 5 years old anymore.